To introduce myself in our traditional Ojibwe language, I would say Bonjour, Chimikanik, Nijinakas, Amikdodam, Saginaw, Ojibwe, Dojaba, Anishinaabe, and Dao. My name is Joseph Sowmick. I'm a Saginaw Chippewa tribal elder. My spirit name, Chimikanik, is Big Turtle, and I'm from the Amikdodam or Beaver Clan, and we're here at the Ziibiwing Cultural Center. And when you look at the 7 grandfather teachings, it's kind of a medicine wheel within itself. You have all these aspects of those 7 grandfathers, but when they all come together, there's a teaching that's indigenous for our people that we can go ahead and share with the world. And that's what we do here at Ziibiwing Center, and that's what we do in ceremonies. When I look at the 7 grandfather teachings, and we're concentrating on love, and we're looking at the eagle or Magizi in our culture, I go back to the eagle feather teachings. One of the teachings that I get a chance to share with students is if you look at an eagle feather, there's a lot of teachings that come into it. And when we talk about Mino Bamadzuin, we talk about walking that good path. We talk about walking that straight path. A lot of times in nature, people will go on nature hikes, and have you ever had that experience where someone's walking in front of you and they're not walking with you? Or if someone's walking behind you and they're not walking with you? It's a different experience. But when we're walking that good path, when we're walking that Mino Bamadzuin, we can go ahead and to have a dialogue. We can learn from each other. We can learn some of the teachings that we can share amongst ourselves, but there's a lot of distractions that can lead us off the path. And that's what we get with the eagle feather. We can see that that straight path is there and it gives us direction, but there's all of these distractions that can lead us off the path. Sometimes we need people like elders, teachers, those people that are good for our life to go ahead and to get us back on the path, and we can go ahead and to walk that path together. With the buffalo, the respect is it makes that sacrifice. There are so many things that are connected with our native culture that the strength of the buffalo is there. And even though you're looking at a lot of the plains and a lot of the Southwest, we still honor the buffalo in a lot of our tribes, and we have those sacred ceremonies that do so. The buffalo, just like a lot of our creatures in the forest, have been given to us by the Creator to go ahead and to use. And a lot of times when our native people go to harvest, we only take what we can use for our people, and we have to go ahead and do that in a good way. And that's why we always make our offering. We always do it in the spirit of prayer. And I think of all of the gifts that the buffalo has offered, the clothing of the hide, the sacrifice for our drums, the sacrifice for our medicines. The buffalo teachings are very important and sacred to our people. When we look at from a Anishinaabe perspective, a lot of times people look at, well, a warrior, you must be talking about a man. Well, a warrior can be a man or a woman. It's about doing the right thing for the right reasons. I think out of all of the clan systems, the bear is the one that gets misunderstood, because a lot of times the bear is associated with being angry, being one of the protectors. And a lot of times in being angry, we can all feel that angry part of us, but how do we go ahead and to get that control on it? With the bravery, a lot of times Brother Bear is protecting the community, protecting the tribe, and there's a reason behind that anger. There's a reason behind the frustration. And in a clan system, I'm glad that we have the teachings of the bear that we can go ahead and to embrace, because just like a mother or a father, when it comes to their children, we are going to be that bear, and we're going to protect our family. And I think a lot of people could embrace that cultural teaching. I think one of the best parts of our grandfather teachings, when we look at the truth, is we have our creation stories and we talk about Turtle Island. And the whole concept of Turtle Island was, we're all in this together. We're going to go ahead and to put it on the back of the turtle, and we're going to look at the truth that we are all connected. We are all a part of the circle. And one of the cores of truth in the grandfather teachings is to go ahead and to look at our similarities instead of our differences. Surely if we look for our differences, we're going to find them, but we may be pleasantly surprised if we look at our similarities. We're going to find them too, and we're going to find the teachings in it. The raven was given a teaching where they had to look at themselves as, you have the eagle, that's the messenger to the creator, but the raven looking at the honesty. The raven had to be who they were and what they were, but they have a place in our creation story also. The honesty that comes from that raven teachings is we all have a role to play in the creation story, and we can be happy with what we've been given and how we embrace that spiritual truth. With the Miyingen, the wolf, having that grandfather teaching, that comes back to the Nanabuju teachings, where the wolf was a companion of Nanabuju. The wolf joined Nanabuju as Nanabuju was looking at going through creation and naming the plants and the animals, and to go ahead and to have that connection with the Creator. The Creator is going to give you those spirit helpers on your journey, and the wolf was considered one of the spirit helpers that helped in our Ojibwe teachings of Nanabuju. When I look at being Beaver Clan and being able to share Indigenous knowledge, I do my best to go ahead and to embrace that grandfather wisdom, because it's teachings that I have been given over time. The way that I explain it to children is, have you ever lived your life with a clenched fist? And instead of living your life with a clenched fist, do you find it easier to go ahead and to open up and to share what you've been given instead of holding on to it? And I think a lot of times with our Native culture, all we need is that opportunity to be a part of other people's lives. And a lot of times it's in that invitation. Do you want to learn about Native culture? When's the last time you've been to a reservation? When's the last time that you've spoke to an Indigenous person? When's the last time you spoke to your grandmother or your grandfather? There's a lot of ways that we can share that grandfather wisdom. Looking at the respect of our elders and the respect of our teachings, I think a lot of times those elders can give us a message that we may not want to hear. And even with spiritual teachings, that might not be what we're looking for, but we find out it's exactly what we need at the time.